It's the work ethic.
It's what it's like. What's the difference between a boy and a man?
It's the work
They
ethic.
show it.
They
show it.
They show up.
But literally, like I said, football is the one sport you cannot fake.
Yeah.
It's gonna show eventually.
Sooner or later you get exposed.
If you're a dog, it's gonna show you're a dog.
What's up, y'all boys? Welcome back to another episode of Double.R.Podcast. It's your host Rico and Ron.
Yo, what's going on, y'all?
Yes, sir. Today we got two gentlemen sitting with us, two coaches from 7-on-7. They also coach high school ball too. They go by Smoke.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep,
SMK 77, Coach J right here.
Yes, sir.
Coach Worsh.
So let me ask y'all the first question, man. What got y'all into coaching?
I keep it honest. It was for me specifically. It was actually a friend that was like, "Hey, I'm coaching in Cold Springs." It was like, I think you would be good with coaching and whatnot. And he was like, "Would you want to be part of my team?" And at first, I was against it. I was super young.
Yeah.
I was against it. I was like, I don't really think so. I was kind of like in my own priorities, doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, he just kept pressing at the issue, and I was like, you know what? All right, let's do it. And then once I got on the field and to see how receptive the kids were with me and just the relationship and how we interacted, it was just really natural.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say it's been a blessing since, you feel me? And I got to thank him for giving me that opportunity because it's just led to so many other doors being open for me.
Okay.
So that's exactly how I initially got into coaching. I can't lie.
Got you. What about you, Worsh?
Well, for me, I always knew I was gonna coach.
Yeah.
Keep it, but I always knew I was gonna do it.
What you mean by that?
Like since high school, I was like, when I went to school, go play ball to the next on college level. It was just like, okay, I don't really see myself not interacting with football.
Got you.
Yeah.
So it was just like, okay, I'm gonna go coach. So I went up there, went up to go learn exercise science, physical education, so I could coach.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay.
So,
Nah, that's real because when I was thinking like, damn, if I can't do track or football no more, I was like, let me look into physical therapy. I actually want to be around the sport, and I just thought, man, they right on the sidelines, so I'll be around the sport,
For
Yeah.
sure.
But why do you guys think some athletes shy away from coaching?
Coaching is not for everybody.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
you gotta love it.
I'm gonna say one, you gotta love it, and then I'm also gonna say coaching kind of chooses you. You feel me? If that makes sense, you feel me? Like, not everybody could be a doctor, right? Not everybody could be a lawyer, right? So, in certain things that you do in life, it's that profession is kind of chosen for you, right? Like it's like you're directed to that path. You feel me? And that's how it was for me. Like I was directed to that path. I never sought out coaching, right? Like I did football and I was amazing. You feel me? And I had my athletic skill, and I always used to think to myself like, I wish I had a coach that really put into me. You feel me? But I just had a coach, right? Like he was just worried about the program or whatever the case may be, right? And the way I approach coaching and the way my coach approaches coaching is just, we do it past the level of coaching, if that makes sense, right? It's for a passion of the community and the kids, right? So I would have to say, if not saying that people don't like kids, you feel me, and people don't want to be involved in the community, right? Like I'm pretty sure them guys do want to be involved in the community, but it's not their path, right? Like the kids may not be accepted to them, right? Or they might not be able to communicate to an audience that effectively, right? They may be amazing and have an amazing IQ, but in regards to other facets of how to communicate, how to break down things, it might not be there for them, right? So not saying that they trying to shy away from it, but the path just didn't choose them.
Yeah.
That's just for me specifically.
So I got a question for y'all then. Being previous, you guys played football. Do you see the difference on like when you were being coached into like now that you're a coach, things that you will do differently?
Yeah.
Like you didn't like that your coach did to you?
There's always gonna be differences, but to me, I think it's all kind of similar.
Yeah.
Every coach has a similar kind of basis on how to teach and how to show things in the football field. Everybody tweaks it their own different way.
Yeah.
And so, like, some people tweak it better than others. That's
Yeah.
just how it goes. And that's what makes the coaching hierarchy, that's how it goes.
Okay.
It's just who knows how to give out the information the easiest to these kids.
Yeah.
So they can apply it to the field.
I know some not everybody learns the same.
Nope.
Right? So you got to
Not at
find
all.
a way to coach different athletes,
and
right?
That's a big thing, right? And that's also about how the path chooses you, right? So for example, me, I'm a very visual learner. I've always been a visual learner, right? Like now I live by that think or swim mentality, but at least as you show me what to do and how to do it, I'm gonna swim and I'm gonna do it. You feel me?
Yeah.
But if you just telling me and you're just direct, like, hey, do it this way, that way, and if I don't do it that way, then you're yelling at me and I'm wrong.
It's not gonna work.
I never connected that way.
Yeah,
right?
I'm kind of different. You see, like, so he said he's a visual learner. Like, I was that kid. You could tell me X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, okay.
Let me. How does that make sense in your head though? Because I'm more of a visual learner.
Yeah,
X's and O's kind of guy.
Like me, I'm like, I picture it in my head.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
So it's like, I already know the basis of football. So like, I was always smart on the field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
IQ's a big thing.
That's why coaching was very easy. It was like, okay, because I used to be able to see things, and so like coaches were able to tell me, like, do this, do that, and it was like, okay, I can apply it. Sometimes maybe not right away, but eventually I'll be like, okay, I can apply it maybe in the next 2 plays. And like, okay,
okay.
Right, now I see what he's talking about.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: what position did you guys play?
So I was a running back.
Okay.
Yeah, downhill, running north and south. There, I wasn't real shift.
that's what I'm about to say.
I was 6'2", 212 pounds. You feel me? So I'm really running down. I love to hit. You feel me? So I wanted to run you over, right? I wasn't trying to shake you out or juke you on the sideline. Like, nah, you coming at me, I'm running through you. You feel me? That was just my mindset. So I love playing running back. You feel me? I did running back and defensive ends. I was okay at defensive end, but running back was just my niche.
You played high school football in Florida?
So I played high school football here in Florida and in New York. I played while I was
in New York. That's
while I was in New York, I played at Holy Cross, which was an amazing experience. And then I moved down here. When I first moved down here, I was playing for North Miami Senior, which is the home of the Pioneers. Yeah. Coach Perkins was actually my coach back in the day. Shout out to Coach Perkins. And then from there we moved over to Sunrise, and then that's when I was at Piper. And Piper was the Bengals. They were interesting, right? Like, we had Coach Williams. It was a real interesting setup. I'm fairly old, but I look young. I try to keep it young, but it was 03 that time for me, right? It was 03 when I was at Piper. So it was a different experience, but it was fun. I can't lie.
What about you? What position did you play?
Well, I'll classify me as an athlete.
Everybody athletes down here. Everybody athletes down here.
I'm versatile.
I was on everything. I played from linebacker to corner to safety, receiver, running back.
Okay, so let me switch it. What was your favorite position?
My favorite, I'll say this, when I was from my freshman to my junior year, my favorite position was probably receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
You like that ball in your hands? When
I got to my junior to senior, I started liking playing DB a lot. My senior year, I ended up playing both sides of the ball, safety and slot receiver. I played for Coconut Creek High School, graduated 2014. Played with them boys, Jakari, Malik Young, all them boys, Manuel Green.
Studs.
Yeah, man, it's like football. When I played, it was fun.
Yeah,
I was a smacker. I cut down the hit. I didn't really go for the pick, but I can cover.
Yeah.
Receiver, I can score easily. It was fun.
Yeah.
I say it was
fun.
High
school ball was fun.
It definitely was.
Following up with this question, because the reason I asked y'all what position y'all played, versatile, but did your position kind of help you transition? Like, was there something from your position that helped you transition to being a coach? Did that matter, or the fundamentals? Could you pull the fundamentals from your position and then apply it?
So I would have to say, for now, right, at my level of coaching, because I do both my own organization, 7v7 Smoke, and then I also do high school ball, right? Yeah. So as high school, yes, because for high school, I'm a position coach. I'm a running back coach, right? So I'm looking to elevate my game and get to OC, which I'm doing at South Broward. But prior to that, I was a running back coach, right? Yeah. So all my expertise and knowledge from running back is what I applied to being a running back coach, right? So that transition was something very easy. It's something that I know like the back of my hand, right? So I could explain everything to the kids without a thought process, right? And now I could really focus on the showing piece, right? So I'm a coach, and you can ask my coach, like, I strap on my cleats and I'm on the field, right? Like, I believe in a real philosophy. Like, if I can't do it, right, and but I'm telling you to do something, how can you really believe in me, right? Like, that's just me, right? That's just my thought process, right? So I would be out there on the field, I'm running around, I'm showing them different drills and how to do things, right? And then I would watch them translate and make it happen, right? So for me, that transition in the sense of specific coaching, running back specific coaching, yes, it definitely helped out tremendously. In regards to my OC concept and aspect of it, I just always been a fan of football, right? Like football is a passion for me, right? Like I've loved the running back position ever since I was a little kid. I always see myself being a running back. Like that's something that I always wanted to do. I had a good arm, but I just didn't want to be that quarterback, right? I didn't want to be the quarterback, but I understood that position of quarterback, right?
Quarterback ain't for everybody.
It's not. It's really not for everybody, right? Like how coaching, like how coaching chooses you, quarterback like really chooses you. For me, it's real. Like you're either you're bred to be a quarterback or it chooses you, right? In that sense, versus like every other position. Like you could be a receiver and be a running back almost essentially, right? Depending on your build, right?
Especially nowadays.
Yeah, especially nowadays, right? So in regards to running back specifics, yes, it helped tremendously. Offensive coordinator, not too much, right? Because offensive coordinator, my job is to exploit the defense, right? So I don't need to really know or take any of my running back skills or techniques and bring it to that, right? So it didn't help me in that space. Just the IQ of the game for offensive coordinators what really helped me, right? But in regards to, like I said, transitioning and relating to my kids on the running back aspect, being a running back definitely helped out a lot. You feel me? Because I know exactly what I'm talking about in that space, right? Like, so if I tell a kid, hey, you should have hit the B gap instead of the A gap. You feel me? Like, they understand that completely versus if you have a regular head coach that's not involved in that process trying to come and tell you what to do. You feel me? So it definitely helped me out.
Okay. So you play multiple positions. What position are you coaching now?
I coach DBs.
DBs.
Okay.
So you're DB playing as a DB. Did that help you?
He loved defense.
Yeah. So I'm very involved in the defensive scheme at where I coach at. I coach for Scranton, and so like me and the coach, we talk all the time about defensive schemes and what we could do and things like that to disrupt other teams' offense. And so like playing multiple positions, to me it did help translate because like I said, on the field, like I could think on the field, and so like a lot of things that were taught to me I would use to apply in the field. Like for example, let's say on the defensive side, like just simple awareness, learning down and distance, understanding down and distance, understanding where you are in the field.
Assignment
like, you're in the red zone. They could run maybe this amount of routes. Boom, 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 like stuff like that. So I apply that knowledge and give it to the kids.
That's
I'm
good.
always talking to the kids every time. You can even ask them. I'm telling them like, yo, think about it. Look where you're at. You're on the 5-yard line. They just need 5 yards to score. What you think they're gonna run?
Yeah.
Boom. So like kids, and a lot of kids are receptive to that. So once you tell them like, hey, it's only this, that, and this, it cuts everything out for them. So it's like, okay, I just gotta focus on. It narrows down their focus pretty much.
Yeah.
So
I feel like when you playing DB, you really gotta have that dog in you. Right, because DB, you can strap somebody up the whole game. They catch one touchdown, it look bad.
They make the game look completely different.
They up top. It's totally different.
The whole game you locking him down. He get one little pat,
just one, and that'll do it.
It's a wrap.
I feel like how do you kind of manage that in your players, because you are a DB coach, and tell them basically to keep their head focused and stay focused on the prime objective, even if, something like that were to happen. You know what I'm saying? How do you help them keep their composure?
I just remind them like, hey man, I just let them know like it was one catch. Yeah, it's for a touchdown, but hey, it's one catch.
Yeah.
They can't say, oh, they've been dogging you all game. Like I just let them know like, and to me like, when plays like that happen, it's a humbling thing for these players. And so it always lets them know be on their A game, because nobody wants somebody talking shit.
Yeah.
Fact.
Nobody wants talking shit. So if you don't want somebody talking shit to your face all day,
especially in Florida, they will talk that shit.
Hey, they'll throw the ball at you, or they'll spin that bitch.
Exactly. Listen. I got it on my video, because we be mic'd up on Smoke 77, right? And I got it on my video. One of my kids, it's Florida. We talk that shit. Literally, I like on my videos. Like, I'm like, oh my god, like, but yeah, it's Florida. Like, don't say it. They know it, but don't say it. Like, but that's what it is, though, for sure. Like, Florida.
Question for you, John, since you coach running back, I wanted to know: do you feel like now running backs are being used more as like quick pass to catch? Do you feel like it's taken away from them rushing a lot? So
I'm very, very biased and objective to when it comes to the running back position. I feel like you're talking about the NFL game.
Yeah,
right?
you know, like they'll just throw them a pass real quick, and they might have 48 rush yards, but they have
the NFL,
77 catches.
Yeah, the NFL game is totally different than the college game, right?
Yeah.
College game running backs are still living, right?
Yeah.
They're still eating in that sense, right? In regards to the NFL, being a running back, you have to know that you got to be, I want to say, a Swiss Army knife, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's not, all right, let me just be a running back now.
Can
right?
I say something to that? I think that's due to the fact that the defensive line game has changed tremendously.
Yeah. They're way more athletic.
I'm gonna say that as well, right? So, and where I was gonna go with that is the speed of the game is so much quicker than it was back in the day.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm old, right? I'm 37, right? So I've been watching football for some time, right? Like my favorite team is the Cowboys, right? I've idolized Emmitt Smith and Deuce being the running back, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, that time, like Barry Sanders, right, in that era was the shiftiest person on the field, right? Now you have linebackers and DBs and the defense that is just that shifty, right? So the game is totally different in regards to the speed aspect, right? So that's why, to me, it has changed the running back position, right? Because you now can't be a Jerome Bettis. You don't have Jerome Bettises in the league nowadays where you just running straight down the line, right? Like, you don't have that, right?
You think that's why Zeke is struggling a little bit?
I believe so, right? Because Zeke is a real, even that he does a lot of great work in regards to his training, right? And
I see him putting work,
multi-direction
like,
training and footwork, right? Like, he does a lot of good work in that sense, but the way the game is, right? The NFL game is not tailored to that, right? So when he's trying to do all that, it's so fast that there's a guy on the end, like, he's got to go back into the middle, right? And now you got defensive tackles that are right there, right? And linebackers that are right there, right? So the game is totally different versus my tackets will open up a lane for me, and I'm through that lane and gone.
Their line has deteriorated.
You feel me? Like,
too.
And then,
let's not forget that.
Yeah.
That line is not what it is.
Dallas line is not what they like how they was last year, right? Like, it's not that, right? But
Zeke lost a step too, though.
Overall, the game is not that for the running backs, right? Like, you can't really be a heavy running back, right? Like, how
you gotta be very shifty.
You gotta be really shifty. You gotta have a lot of good quick twitch muscles, right? Like, you gotta be quick in that sense, right? You can't be real heavy footed, and Zeke is more, in my opinion, a traditionalized running back in regards to being heavy and things of that sort than how the running backs are now.
I want to add something to that, because I agree with what you're saying, and I also feel like the game has transitioned to where back in the days it was a lot of running. Running the ball, but now it's a passing league.
Yeah. Because they want, like, you think about the NBA, right? Yeah. Everybody wants to see them big games, right? Big number games, right? So I want to see numbers put on the board, right? Exactly. So everybody's passing. Look how the league is completely protecting quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Like, look how the league is completely protecting quarterbacks, right? Because they want that ball aired out, right? They want them, boom, like, they want that attraction, right?
It's more entertainment.
More money.
That's what it is, right? It's entertainment, right? Versus if you got a running back that runs at 98 yards, all right.
Exactly.
Do you feel me? Like, that's what it is. Versus if I got Tyreek Hill running down the sideline, blue. It's a totally different type of excitement, right? So they've definitely has changed the game, right? And it hurt different positions. You feel me? And that's why it's hard for running backs to really get paid like that. You feel me? It's hard for them to have the consistency, right? Because they're not doing what they used to do back in the day. It's a totally different game.
You would think, like, in terms of running backs getting paid, it would help them because they're not because they're not always running in between the tackles and stuff like that, they're less prone to injury, right?
You would think so, right? But then at the same time, there's not that many backs. So let me ask you, out of 32 teams, how many backs can you name me that are really good out the back catching?
Yeah.
I
can name a few.
Yeah.
But
A few, right? But how many can you name that are really good blocking?
Nah, shit.
Right? Like this, so this
Zeke is a good blocker.
Zeke is a great
I see Lenny block a couple of
times. And that's
times.
what really helps him, right? That's what keeps him on the field, right? Because he has those little aspects, right? So he can catch out of the backfield, right? He is a really good block versus Tony Pollard, right? Tony Pollard is not as solid as a blocker as he is.
But
a better pass catcher, but not as solid as a blocker, right? So that's why they
So you need two different type of backs,
Exactly, and that's why for today's game, I tell running backs.
Flawed though. We forgot about Derrick Henry.
So
all right, that motherfucker can do anything.
But he's a freak, bro.
Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry he really not catching it out of the backfield, unlike a
but he can. They doing
unlike
it now.
Leonard Fournette, right? Because Leonard Fournette got to catch it, right? But he is a downhill runner,
That's
right?
Getting paid.
But why? Look at the year that the Titans had last year and the year prior, right? It was all Derrick Henry. You feel me? Like it was all Derrick Henry. So you gotta pay who it all is, right? It's like for example, you don't think D-Hop is gonna get that contract. Look what happened at the game with D-Hop when he came back.
They look like a different
team. They changed the whole Cardinals look totally different, you feel me?
Yeah.
Because of one player, right? So when it's time for him to get the bag, he gonna get that bag, right? Because what were you doing prior to? You got the quarterback yelling at the coach. Like, y'all all discombobulated, right?
Calm down.
Like, y'all all discombobulated, you feel me? D-Hop come back,
he changed
y'all won 42 points.
Yeah.
But so it just goes to show you how much of a player can impact the team. You feel me? But when it comes to the running back position, like especially now,
D-Hop must have been working in DBs at practice.
I tell all the running backs now, like you gotta be multifaceted, right? Like you gotta be able to pass catch, you gotta be able to block, you gotta be able to run. Like you gotta, if you want to be proficient and you want to be on and get drafted at the running back position, these are things that you gotta have nowadays. You feel me? It's not I could just be a strong runner. You feel me? And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
They might do that same thing with receivers too, because they doing it with Debo. They bringing him in the backfield. With Curtis Samuel, they bringing him in the backfield.
And Cooper Kupp, they did that a little bit with.
Because if you think about it, right?
With Hill too.
If you think about it, right, some of the receivers now, their build is totally different than how it used to be.
Yeah.
If you look at a Debo Samuel and a DK Metcalf, you feel me?
Oh yeah, that big motherfucker.
These are specimens, you feel me, compared to back in the day. Like Randy Moss wasn't built like that. Chris Carter wasn't built like that. Keyshawn Johnson wasn't built like that. Yep. They was good, but they wasn't built like that.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, so when you got a specimen, like, I could bring them into the backfield because you could take that hit from the tackle. You feel me? So
and it's not every time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now going back to the coaching, do you feel it has some of the protecting quarterback trickled down into the high school level or flag football?
Well, see, flag football, it doesn't really make an impact in that sense, right?
True,
because there's not contact for the quarterback.
It's just time.
It's just time, right? And that's why for 7v7, a lot of people, there's a 50-50 split on that, right? If I say some people say do it, some people say don't do it, right? My aspect on 7v7 is if you're a skilled position player, it's something that you should be doing because it keeps that IQ sharp, right? It keeps them skills sharp, right? The risk of hurt or injury is at every point in your life, right? I mean, if you're playing tackle, 7v7, whatever the case may be. Now, granted, if you're playing tackle and say your injury percentage is 50% and now you play 7v7 after tackle season, it may go to 60, 65, 62%, right? But it's nothing astronomical. It's not saying, oh, it's at 90%, you're going to get hurt, right? Like, so you have people that say don't do 7v7 because of that, and then like I said, I'm a firm believer that it really helps on the skill positions, right? Yeah. Like, you can't be a lineman or anything of that sort and say, hey, I want to do 7v7, right? It's just not in that aspect. If you're a linebacker, you got to be really one of those hybrid linebackers now that are very quick, right? Because the speed of the game is really fast. 7v7, to me, primarily helps out the quarterback a lot because you only have 4 seconds. Yeah. Right? In the league, if you see how fast guys are getting rid of the ball, they're getting rid of the ball in a second and a half, 2 seconds, right? Yeah. So to be at that level of where you got to diagnose and read within 4 seconds.
It trains them reading,
It trains them amazing, right? So for quarterbacks, I think 7v7 is golden, right? Is ideal. Then it trickled down receivers, DBs, running backs, linebackers, right? At the tackle game, I don't think that the rules have affected quarterbacks at the tackle game in high school, just from what I've seen, right? I don't, across the board, in regards to concussions, they're trying to protect that.
Yeah.
Across the board, right? So if a kid goes high and a kid is on the floor more than a minute, they thinking that it could be a potential concussion, right? So they're going through that protocol, right? So across the board, concussion protocol is very heavy, right? It's a big thing. In regards to protecting the quarterbacks, where have you seen the past 2 weeks in the NFL, 2 quarterbacks get tackled and they called roughing the passer?
Yeah.
That's not happening in high school.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah,
Like
that's
that's not happening in high school. Now, if they see something blatant, then yes, they'll eject the kid or whatever the case may be. But outside of that, it's not that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me.
It's like, for example, I believe in the Norland game,
Mm-hmm.
there was a Norland game that just happened. Norland and
Arizona?
Palmetto High School,
Okay.
Somerset. They had a game, and the DB came down. It was either DB or safety. He came down, and the quarterback took off, right, running, and he hit him high, right, and they ejected the DB. His number's 20 or whatever. But you could see it was a high hit, right? Now, not saying that he did it intentional. I don't think so, right?
Yeah.
Because of the game, the way the game is.
It's so
everybody's
fast.
flying, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just the game. So I don't think he did it intentional. Like, oh, man, I'm going to try to really hit him in the head, right? It's just he was coming. He saw the quarterback, and he initiated his dive before the quarterback initiated his slide, right? So in that sense, he's already reacted, you feel me? And he came high, but I don't really see them protecting quarterbacks like how they really protect quarterbacks in the NFL. You feel me? For personal fouls and things of that sort. The concussion is definitely there, but personal foul aspect, nah.
I feel like in terms of what you were saying earlier, in terms of injuries and certain coaches don't want to do 7-on-7 because kids get injured and stuff like that. I feel like if you're a coach, you're coaching athletes, you should know whether or not they're in 7-on-7, they're going to play somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But like my biggest thing, right? Like I try to tell people, like when I'm out there recruiting, right, and talking to parents and things of that sort, and they give me that answer, my response back to them is, okay, well, was Carmani McLean, was Brandon Ennis, was all these 5 stars, Blake Murphy, was all these guys not playing 7v7? Because I know they were.
Yeah.
Because I know my team went against them.
Yeah.
Like, so what are we talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you got all these 5 stars that got offers, right? They got offers and they still playing 7v7. What are we really talking about?
I feel like it's
right?
more exposure for you too.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like,
you can go viral off that.
And like John
Literally.
said, it's a
Literally.
way to keep kids active. Like, pretty much 7v7 found a way. But 7v7 paved the way for kids to play football.
Yeah. I feel like at
fact.
first it was kind of look upon down because it was flagged, but then it just went off after 2016. More people
It blew up.
It just
like,
blew up.
7v7 started when I was in high school, and it was something small. It was just high school.
Yeah.
Because I used to watch
small.
that. They used to have the Nike Elite.
Yeah.
When I
used to watch that
when
shit.
I was in
Small.
high school, right,
Mhm.
and when I was a senior coming out of high school, Nike Spark.
Yeah.
Nike
I
Spark
remember
Combine.
that.
Bro,
Just
is that
just
gone
hit-
now?
It's like you don't even
It
hear
just
about
went
it.
away.
Right?
I did like
so many
one
people
like
doing
Nike
that.
Spark.
Bro, like Nike Spark used to be the thing.
Yeah.
You feel me?
facts.
Like that was the biggest combine. Like you went to Nike Spark, you got a rating from there, bro. You was that guy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
feel me? Like now it's.
What happened? You think they lost their alleyway because of 7-on-7, or you think they just slowly went away?
I don't know, right? Like I don't, because they had a really good
Yeah.
business model, right? So
Yeah.
I really don't know what happened in that sense.
I think they just lost to other. Because,
Brands.
that's when Rivals came out.
Competition.
Yeah,
Under Armour came out with their own kind of
Other
combine,
programs.
Like, so it's just like they must have. I just think they lost.
You think they just
out.
folded their tent? Was like, we're not even gonna compete.
It's like the
Because
evolution.
Rivals is a big thing.
It's just
Yeah.
the evolution
Big
of
thing.
times. You feel me? Where somebody comes and takes what you're doing and does it better, right?
Yeah.
It's like, for example, if the best analogy that I could put it as is Nike Spark was MySpace in that sense, right?
I'll say
When
this.
MySpace came out, MySpace was the shit. You feel me? Like everybody loved MySpace. You could customize your page.
Facts.
You feel me? Do
Yeah.
everything, right? Then Facebook came out.
Yeah, changed the
Once
game.
Facebook came out, you never heard of a MySpace, right? You feel me? So like that's what it was.
Just
You
like
feel me?
Facebook and MySpace.
Yeah.
Came out with something different.
Something almost the same but
What
new.
Rivals
right?
came out with,
Yeah,
what
but Twitter.
Nike didn't have, was these one-on-one challenges. That's how to me, that's what I think Nike lost out to, because you would get the combine,
It was just
and
individual
then
position.
after
Yeah.
the
You do individual
combine,
work.
you get the invite to come the next day. And those are the one-on-one 7v7 challenges that they do.
Yeah.
To showcase your skill, and that's what got everybody to go to.
So what? Rivals did it. You didn't have to get an invitation. They did everything the same day, like in terms of the one-on-one and all that stuff.
I think in the beginning it was all invitational.
So, but then they opened it, right?
Okay.
And that you could now go to Rivals and put in, right, and apply, right, and come in. You feel me, with a number. Now, if you that guy and you do something on somebody, now you made a name for yourself. You feel me? So they created that space where Nike Spark, you had to be invited to Nike Spark.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like they would, like, if you didn't get invited to Nike Spark, you're not there. You feel me? Like that's how it was. So Rivals definitely elevated the game in that space. You feel me?
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just like MySpace and Facebook. You feel me? You take something that's going and you just add new tools to it. You feel me? And new things to it and make it better. And that's what happened. And people roll with that platform. Yeah. And then with that happening, that created 7v7, right? Like in all honesty, great organization, have great time, great communication with them. SFE, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of one of the originators of that 7v7 down here in South Florida. You feel me? And that's why they got the name that they have, right? And the following that they have in the motion, which is amazing, right? In regards for us in that space, right, where we're different, is that SFE and those top programs, they look for the stars, right? They look for the 4 or 5 stars, right? Where me and my coach, we really treat 7v7 it is that platform that if you're not getting exposed at the high school level, we can give you that exposure. You feel me? Like our first year out the gate.
I'll say they built up to that. Though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In the beginning, it was common, just like how we are in the beginning. It was common. They built up that name and reputation to where.
But it's a lot of dogs out here with no stars. You feel
me? And that's our space.
Yeah.
And that's our space. And that's what we
talent.
pride on, right? Because my coach is Zach Stranahan. He's got a lot of dogs at his school, South Broward. You feel me? Before South Broward, I was at Flanagan, right? So there's a lot of talent. You feel me? But unfortunately, they don't get them looks, right? And they're not playing in the marquee games or whatever the case may be, right? Where you may have Fannin or 305 or all these other organizations that are, recording and whatnot, Footballville, all these organizations that are recording.
I'll say percentage-wise.
They're not getting that exposure.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I'll say percentage-wise, like, let's say if we split it down the middle, the 50% getting their looks, 50% that's the dogs that are not getting their looks. We split that 50% of the dogs that aren't getting their looks. I'll say there's about 15% that aren't getting their looks just because of like a bad situation, like they're at the wrong school.
Big facts.
They got a lot of things going on that really they can't focus on doing what they need to do. The other 45, those kids just are not putting in the work that they have to do.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's
those
facts.
kids would rather do anything else than
football.
But like, they don't
practice.
love it.
Yeah, they don't love the practice.
Yeah, so it's like that's what I would say about it, because like he said, there are a lot of dogs out here, but there's a lot of them that just don't care.
Yeah.
So that's also true.
I seen where it's like somebody with no stars, they go to a camp and they come back with 3 stars.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And just like that, just because the right people were there to see them and stuff like that.
So
and it pans out like that. Some people get lucky.
Yeah.
Like some of those dogs that are dogs but don't put in the work, they do get lucky that way. But football is one sport you can't fake.
Perfect example.
Sooner or later you'll be exposed.
It's gonna see, sooner or later you're gonna get exposed.
Perfect example in regards to 7v7, right? We had him on our organization, you feel me? But he achieved this while he was doing this for his high school team. Piper is a kid named D5. His Instagram is D5, right? We had him on our team. Amazing player, right? Did a lot of good things for us. Continued to 7v7 with his high school, because now you got high schools that do 7v7, right? Went to FAU. They had a tournament for high school 7v7. My man went one hand, right? Had an amazing play, one hand catch. FAU dropped an offer.
Damn.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Because of what they saw the kid was doing, you feel me? And then
they
saw
the potential
eventually my man went up one hand for the ball, like, all right, so everything that we saw prior, and then he's doing this, dropped an offer, you feel me? And didn't have a D1 offer prior to that.
Damn.
You feel me? So it just goes to show you how the platform really can change your life.
That's what 7-on-7 does, like. We're not saying like that's an exceptional case where a coach just drops an offer off of 7-on-7.
Yeah.
What 7-on-7 really does is if you really balling like that, it gives the coaches a look. Like, oh shit, what that's a nice play. Oh, that's a nice route.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was good coverage. What's his kid name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me look into him.
Let me look at this kid up.
Yeah.
Does he have a highlight tape? Oh, let me watch this.
Yeah.
And that's where it goes.
That's
And
good.
from watching that highlight tape, they're in season right now. Let me look up his
see
stats.
what he's doing. His stats, yeah.
Yep.
Like, that's all it takes, honestly.
That's how you find
So
gems.
at like the beginning, getting into coaching, going back to what you were saying earlier, coaching gotta find you. So let's say coaching found me. I'm looking to be a coach, right? What are the next steps I take to trying to become a coach? Like,
so in football or what do you call it? In football?
Football, and then we'll go into 7-on-7. But football.
So if you say woke up one day and you was like, you know what, I want to coach.
Yeah.
Right. Biggest thing for me is one, finding on which age group you do want to coach. Right. Like if you want to coach older kids, right? If you have, because I'm gonna tell you, older kids from 14 to 18, especially dealing with males, they feeling themselves.
Yeah.
You feel me, right? So it's a different type of attitude and ego that you're dealing with if you're dealing with kids that are from 8 to 12, right? Same thing if you're dealing with kids that are from 4 to 8, right? So it's totally, you got to choose on what aspect or which age group you're looking to coach, right? You feel me? Because not everybody could coach 14 to 18-year-olds, right? Not everybody could coach 4 to 8-year-olds. You feel me, right? So it all depends on you being an individual and what you're comfortable with in that aspect.
I can't
right?
coach 4 to 8 years.
So it's not nothing against my coach. He's an amazing coach, right? But it's not everybody could coach 4 to 8 years, right?
To me, it's just patience.
That's what I'm saying. Like the attention span of those kids, right? Like you got to know who you are, right, as a person to be able to deal with other people.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's the biggest aspect of coaching, right? Like you got to know and be fully locked into you so that you could put you into other people.
Okay.
You feel me? Like in that sense.
So, once you figure out the age group, is there a way you can reach out to schools or, the city programs and be like, hey, I'm looking to get into coaching?
Just reaching out.
Yeah, it's all about reaching out. City programs are the biggest, right? Like that's probably where I would have to say that you're gonna get your easiest start. You feel me? Like foot in the door. You feel me?
Yeah.
They'll always have like a bulletin. They'll always have like some type of news alert, like, oh, we're looking for coaches. Like local parks will always post it up, like, oh, we're looking for coaches.
Yeah. So
the city posts, they'll post it up.
I had a quick question. How hard is it? Because I know you guys are in the process of doing it now because you want to move from being a position coach to an OC, and you probably want to be a defensive coach, right? How hard is that transition from being a position coach to a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator?
So I keep everything 100%, right, and blatant honest. That's one thing about me. I would have to say, as long as you are proficient in what you're doing, you feel me, you'll have the opportunity. Yeah. Now, when the opportunity will come, I can't say that it's going to come your first year of, when you're doing things, 3 years, 5 years, or whatever the case may be. But as long as you're efficient in what you're doing and your knowledge, the opportunity is going to present itself. You feel me? That's just from my experience, right? Now, granted, your network, like how I tell my kids, you feel me, your network can also help you in that sense, right? Who you know is a big thing in society, right? When they say who you know and where they're at, that's a big thing in society. Because if I know an AD or a head coach or something of that sort that, doesn't have the greatest relationship with their current OC or whatever the case may be, but we are buddy, I might be able to slide in that position, right? You feel me? So one, I'd have to say being efficient in your knowledge of the game, you feel me, the opportunity is going to present itself automatic. And then two, building that network. You feel me? Because that network can potentially get you to that opportunity quicker.
I agree in opportunity will present itself. Because if you're knowledgeable in what you're doing, like if you take this seriously, like you're going to know how to run every position in that defense. Like I said, I played multiple positions, so I know how to operate and maneuver multiple positions in a defense. The only position I ain't played was D-line. And so that's something I have to learn. So I learned the ins and outs of D-line and all that stuff. And so like I can move pieces of D-line to where I choose and to where my DC can agree, and that can help us win football games.
Yeah.
And so it's just being knowledgeable and just waiting until your opportunity comes. Honestly.
Do they look at like like, so say somebody's looking for you for an offensive coordinator position, would they look at the stats of, if you're a position coach, would they look at the stats of your running back to see how much yards they're getting, to see how the game plan works? Or for a defensive coach, would they look at, oh man, his DB's been strapping shit up all season?
Oh yeah, definitely. Anytime that another program is looking at you, you feel me? They're looking at stats, right? That's what speaks for you, right? Like that's
numbers don't lie.
That's what speaks for you, right? Like me being a running back coach. If I'm a running back coach and my running backs are not gaining more than 500 yards a year, you feel me, or the season, you feel me, versus where my running backs now are garnishing 1,200 yards a season, it's something different. You feel me? Like obviously you're doing something different that affects the kids, you feel me, that are making them better, right? Versus then just being complacent and just doing the same thing. You feel me? So yeah, definitely their stats matter.
That's part of the reason why I love football, right? Because your running backs having 1,200 yards isn't just solely on your running backs. If that line isn't open up holes, right, then you gotta get with the offensive line coach, maybe put the running backs and the offensive line together. Y'all talk, y'all communicate, find a way.
Big facts. When it comes to football, right, like everybody has the mind like quarterback is the number one position, right?
Yeah.
Granted, to be a quarterback, you got to be the smartest on the field.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that hands down, right? You got to be the smartest on the field if you're a quarterback. To me, in my opinion, coaching tackle, right, and having the experience, do I think that's the most vital position on the field? No. To me, the most vital position are the trenches. You feel me? Because if you don't have a line, regardless on the offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball, you're not making any impact, right? And if you're not making an impact, then you're not winning. You feel me? So, for example, on the offensive side of the ball, if I don't have a front line that could push the defense back, you feel me, or give me some type of time, I'm stuck. You feel me? I can't pass the ball. I can't run the ball. You feel me? Same thing on defense. If I don't have a line that's giving me penetration, the quarterback got all the time in the world to do everything. Yeah. You feel me? So, for me personally, trenches is the most vital position, and then from there it will be quarterback and it trickles down, but trenches is the most vital position for me.
All right, so as a coach, now you found out the position you want to coach, then you see which program, which age group you want to coach as well. Now that you're in a coach and you want to transition to a higher level, how do you get your name out there?
So just me personally, I think your name is going to get out there based on what you do. You feel me? At every level that you are, right? And as long as you're efficient and you have a winning record, you should have no issue being able to transition to the next level, right? So as long as you have a winning record in Little League, you feel me? And I'm a big believer that Little League and Pop Warner is the best way for you to get your name out there. Yeah. Because once you establish a good record and tenure at that level, then you're now kind of sought after, right? Like, all right, why is this team doing so well? You feel me? There's a reason why they're doing. What's that formula, right? I want to bring that formula to where I'm at. You feel me? So I believe like Pop Warner and Little League is the biggest way for you to get your name out there, and you got to be efficient in what you're doing. Yeah. As long as you have a good record and you're winning, because
to be honest,
in sports you got to win, right? Okay. Like in order to get paid, you feel me, in any level of the job, you got to win. If you're a coach or a player, whatever the case may be, you got to win, right? So as long as you got a winning record and a good philosophy, especially at the Little League level, there should be no reason or any issues with you transitioning, right? People are going to look out for you, right? Like that's one thing that I've noticed in the coaching realm, and my coach could tell as well. Like when you start coaching and you're on different circuits and being out there, people notice you, right? Yeah. People know you, right? Like they might not know of your name, but they know your face. You feel me? And like, oh, I know that guy, right? Yeah. So that's the biggest way to elevate. Now, when you're at the high school level, definitely gotta win, right? Because you gotta have that.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
right? Like you gotta have that dominance that you.
It's all about winning. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, it's all about. I don't really like. I think different. I don't really think Little League is the biggest way.
To get your start.
To get
it might be to get your start. Like to get your foot in the door. Like, all right, I want to get into high school coaching and stuff like that.
Honest,
to me, I think so.
But to be honest, I'll say more. It's more who you know at the high school level.
Okay, yeah. I seen that. It's a lot of
You could be a phenomenal little league coach, but I see a lot of phenomenal little league coaches still not get
their dues.
Their like dues. Yeah, it's like you gotta. I seen a lot of coaches just apply.
Yeah.
And get the job.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so I agree. I feel like it's more who you know or just the opportunity presenting itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
at the high school level, though.
Yeah.
It's all about winning games.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel like, you know how in the NFL it's hard to have a lot of minority coaches? Is that the same thing down in the high school level or the 7-on-7 level?
No. It's I would want to say it's almost reverse.
I don't know about these other areas, but down
in
here,
Broward County.
Okay. In Broward County, from my experience, right, being in South Florida.
Maybe Palm Beach.
I'd have to say
I say a good 75% of coaches.
I was gonna say it's reverse, right? And it's awkward, right? Because it's like, how do you have so many minority coaches in the high school realm and the little league realm, but not at the big level?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to say things are politics, right? Yeah. But it's just not that way. You feel me? In high school, there's a lot of minority coaches that are doing it.
Yeah.
You feel me? I wish that was the case at the collegiate level and the NFL level. Unfortunately, it's not. What the realm of politics are behind that, I don't know, right? I haven't been there. But definitely in high school and Little League, you got a lot more minority coaches for sure.
Okay.
A lot more.
So how did you two get together and start this SMK 707, and what does that stand for?
So, in all honesty, SMK Smoke 7v7, the SMK is Strong Minority Kings, right? Like, in all honesty. In regards to how me and Coach Worsh started, we really do this for the passion of football.
Yeah.
Right? Now, me, luckily, I've been around 7v7 for a while. I've had my opportunity to run Chris Chambers 15U 7v7. I've had my opportunity to be with other organizations, right? Being part of other organizations, I would just have to say, when you treat 7v7 like a business, you feel me, instead of the motivation of passion of football, you feel me, and really having these kids be better, it's different, right? So when I was part of organizations that did that as business, it wasn't efficient, right? It didn't work. I had a lot of kids that were against it, asked a lot of questions, right? And Coach Worsh, we was somebody that played football with, you feel me, for quite some time on the football field, and I knew that he was a knowledgeable character, you feel me, and being part of coaching, it was something I thought that he would be good at.
Yeah.
You feel me? We went to an organization together that so-called claimed they was about the kids, right? They was about doing everything right. Unfortunately, it wasn't that way, just from my experience, you feel me? And for me, I had to step away, right? And I couldn't leave because I'm about my kids, right?
Yeah.
Technically, they asked him. He just brought me along.
And, you know,
they reached out to him, then he reached out to me, and I was like,
no, that's good, though. That's
good. Not being boastful about it, but, you know, that's what it was. But at the end of the day, it's like, when I seen that they weren't doing things for the kids, you feel me, I couldn't be a part of that, right? Just me, because I'm a big person of the kids. Like, I do football for the kids, like, for the community. I don't do this for any aspect outside of that, right? So when it wasn't going down like that, I was like to Coach Worsh, hey, yo, I don't think this is a good situation. Let's see what we can do on our own. You feel me? So I'd have to say this is technically our year 3, but I say our year 2 because our very preemie year, you feel me, we had to start in the midst of the season. Yeah. You feel me? And I couldn't leave my kids hanging. You feel me? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own thing, and we're going to run it. And they
ended up leaving us hanging, though.
We came up with a concept. No, we came up with a concept, right? And my original boys that I brought over to this organization, you got to understand, they was also hurt, you feel me, and in a difficult place, right? Because they're like, oh, man, you brought us over here, but then, you're going to do your own thing, and my people ain't got money. Like, you know, so they was very confused, you feel me? Now, granted, we was able to create a team, you feel me, and we had some of our guys from that previous season, or, you know, from that current season come with us, and we did what we had to do in that sense. And year 1 after that, last year, amazing, right? Like, we just showed how to do things right.
So where did you find the camps to sign up your 7-on-7 team? Was there like a site, or was there someone that you were in contact with as far as that?
You can get that anywhere.
Anywhere?
If you're on social media, like, if you're especially, you know how the algorithms of social media work. Once you look up like football, all that stuff pops up.
If you looking for it, it's out there.
So then you just enter your team name.
Yeah,
and
everything.
Then you just
Every
put
tournament is a fee.
Okay.
Like, it's not like there's a lot of tournaments out there that are invite only.
Yeah.
Like 7v7 got big to the point where it's a ranking system now.
Yeah.
Like it's a ranking of teams and like certain and that's why 7v7 is such a big thing now to where kids should hop on it just cause of something like
the exposure.
that. Like ranking teams, they invite college recruiters.
Yeah.
Like, they know, this number ranked team and this number ranked team right here are playing each. Oh, let me go check this game out.
Yeah, big facts.
Like that's how it is, and so like that's just how it works, honestly.
Yeah, it's easy. If you're in the realm of 7v7 and you wanna be in tournaments, all you gotta do is research.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like all you gotta do
all
is
it
look
is
it
a
up.
fee.
Now, was it hard for you to record? Was it hard for you to recruit kids? Leaving the old.
Not at all.
Business
Not
crew
for
and
me
then-
in this. Not for me in a sense. And the reason I say that is because it all goes about the style of coaching, right? That you are, right? So luckily for me, as I mentioned, I was at the chamber, right?
Yeah.
And I built a good relationship with kids that was coming in the chamber, right? So when that went away and another organization reached out to me, I took my whole following of kids from the chamber with me to this whole organization. You feel me? And this other organization, for some reason, thought that it was them that brought the kids there. And obviously, when I decided to go to another organization, you feel me, that whole following came with me.
Damn.
You feel me?
It must have been hurt.
Literally, that whole following came with me. And they were, you feel me?
Yeah.
And it wasn't intentional, but it's just with the way I coach, right? And the relationship that I built with these kids, you feel me? And they see that I'm something totally different. I'm really about the kids, you feel me? And when you're really about the kids, they warm up to you, they talk to you, right?
Yeah.
They treat you totally different than a business interaction, you feel me? And that's what it was, right? And that's why they came with me. So when I started Smoke 7v7, I didn't even have a thought process like, yo, are we gonna get kids? You feel me? Like, are kids gonna come? You feel me? Because I just knew who I was as a coach, you feel me? And what I've done so far, like, the kids are gonna come naturally, you feel me? Unless you a SFE or a DEF CON, you feel me, where you got certain incentives, you feel me, for kids. I knew kids was coming, you feel me? So I didn't have to really worry about that.
So how were you pushing out, your 7-on-7 team out? Like, were
regular
you
way, like social media,
posts?
word of mouth.
So social media, word of mouth. Biggest thing is pretty much having our business model separate from most, right?
Yeah.
Like our business model is we don't look for the 4 to 5 stars, right? I look for the dogs that don't have any recognition.
Damn.
You feel me? Because
That's good, man.
we're gonna give that platform to where you now can get that recognition. You feel me? And nobody's saying that you not like a Brandon Ennis. You feel me? But nobody's seen you do what a Brandon Ennis does, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you don't have the 5-star. You feel me? There's nothing against you, but that's the only reason why you don't have that 5-star, right? So that was our business platform and motto is that we're not looking for those 4 to 5 stars. We're looking for them dogs that want it. You feel me? And as long as you want it, then we're gonna give you the opportunity to make a name for yourself. You feel me? And make a brand for yourself. And that's what this is about.
I got 2 questions real quick. Being a coach, I know one of the most important part of coaching is the players that you coach, right? So how do you know when you're coaching a dog? Like how?
You'll see it. You'll see it.
Like Coach Worsh said, you'll see it. You feel me?
Okay.
You'll sense it. It's just what they show you.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like you got a lot of kids that say I'm a dog.
Yeah. So what's
everybody
the
like
difference?
You feel
What's the
everybody-
difference
it's
between a
the
dog
work-
and a
yeah.
cat?
It's the work ethic.
It's what's the difference between a boy and a man?
It's the work
They
ethic.
show it.
Yeah.
it's the
They
work
show
ethic.
it, like-
up. They
It's
show
what
up.
But
they
literally,
do.
like I said, football is the one sport you cannot fake.
Yeah.
It's gonna show eventually.
Sooner or later you get exposed.
If you're a dog, it's gonna show you're a dog.
Big
I
facts.
got another question. Football, I like to think football is a very passionate sport, right? And being coaches, I feel like it's more passionate for coaches because you can be there and see it, but you're not actually in it, right? So you can't make the play. So it might get frustrating when it's like something you see and you're like, I would have known this. I got to coach him to know this, right? So how do you handle a situation where it's like 3rd and 7 for a defense perspective, you need this stop, or you need this stop for the punt the ball. For an offensive perspective, you need this first down, and you don't get it, right? How do you handle that situation like when your players are looking at you, right? Do you want to show expression of like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? We needed this, da 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 da, or do you stay calm, composed, like a Bill Belichick? You know what I'm saying? You don't show no emotion.
Yeah,
You
you see it in my face, like, yo, like,
what are you doing?
Like, come on, bro, like, you see it in my face.
I mean,
so like
for me,
I also coach him up though.
I'm very passionate, right, and I'm very vocal, right, and I'm an animated individual, right, so I'm gonna give that emotion, right, but at the same time, you don't have to be too crazy with that emotion, right? You can show emotion, but you still also have to have some type of composure, right? Like now, if I'm down, right, I don't do defense, right? But say I'm offense, right, and we don't say it's 3rd and 7, like you said. Now we don't get that 3rd and 7. Now we 4 and 3, and we decide to go for it, right? And I don't get that 4 and 3, and I'm like, fuck it. Now that's a breakdown to my kids.
Exactly.
You feel me? Like now, kids is like, man, coach, you really acting like that because we didn't get it. You feel me? Like, so that's a breakdown to the kids in that sense. You feel me? Just for me, right? So
I also think you show them how passionate you are about the game too.
But you got to be able to balance it.
You can't be overly passionate.
Yeah, you got to be.
At the end of the day, you can't want it more than the kids.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, and so you can show
because you're not on the field.
Only thing that can really tick you off is like when you do something and these kids don't listen. That's what that really tick you off. But like coaches, like I can accept being out coached. Like if I call up a scheme and they follow it to the T and it doesn't work, like, oh, that was a good ass play, coach.
Like how does that go into your preparation? How do you prepare to go against like another team's receiving core? Because you're a DB position coach. How do you prepare that? Do you watch film every day?
Yep.
Do you write up certain schemes and certain things? Like what? Just bring me into your mind real quick.
You gotta know your kids.
Okay.
You gotta know what your kids can do, what your kids can do. Like if I got 2 corners, one's good at off, one's good at better at press. I have my press on the weak side, my off corner to the strong side, and I'll scheme it up and film. Like you said, film is a very important thing. I watch film like every day. Like we got a game coming up. We're going against Gibbons. I've been watching film on Gibbons since last week.
Damn.
And we had a game. More film than kids.
And
we had a game, and we played against Glades yesterday.
So let me ask you this, because I feel the sense like when you know you have a big game and you circle that on the map, how long are you studying for that game?
Oh no, I take every game week by week. But
okay.
When it comes to
see, I'm different.
Like you playing St. Thomas or something.
We just played Heritage.
Yeah.
Like so, when you play games like that, when I know games are gonna be tough like that, so I'll take that extra week. Like I'll watch 2 separate game films.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been watching Gibbons since last week. We played Glades. Yesterday. Like I watched my film on Glades, and I'm still watching my film on Gibbons.
Core Glades?
Yep, core Glades. And so boom, I'm able to diagnose, see certain things, see certain patterns, and do things like that, and diagnose it to where I could apply that knowledge to my kids. I can tell my kids certain cues they can look out for. And we watch film with the kids. We like sit there and we make sure these kids comprehend, give our kids the homework to do on certain plays. Like, yo, if you see this formation, what do you do? See that formation, what do you do?
That's good.
So it's on the defensive side, it's a lot of preparation. I'll say more preparation than the offensive side.
Okay.
There's way more preparation than the offensive side. Like I will sit and film.
I'm a little biased here.
I feel like you might have a little something though, because offense, I feel like you create the scheme and they gotta adapt to you.
Offense, I'm gonna be honest. Offense, you don't really gotta sit there and watch.
Hey, yo, Johnson, what are you talking about, man?
We a little different in that aspect, you know, because he do defense, I do offense.
You
so
don't
we
gotta sit there and watch
film
all day on what a defense does, because the offense has to.
They're the attackers.
They're the attackers. The defense adjusts to the offense.
So for me, right, like in that aspect, right, I feel like the defense has, like, a defensive coordinator has a harder job. Right, in that aspect, right, because for me, no matter how much you're looking at film, right, as a defensive coordinator, I could decide to do something different.
Yeah.
You feel me? In regards to the defense, that's pretty much going to be your defense.
Yeah.
You feel me? In regards to, like, if it's cover 1, cover 2, cover 4, whatever scheme that you run, you feel me? That's pretty much going to be your defense.
So you're saying
you
offense have a little bit more room
so
to be creative?
For me, in that sense, yes, I have a little bit more room to be creative. Now, like I said, that's where it's harder on the defense, and they have more of a job, you feel me, and responsibility, because I do have that flexibility of being a little bit more creative, you feel me? So, for example, I have the opportunity of showing you something in one game and not, you feel me, in the next game, and then coming out in our game with something totally different.
Which
you feel me?
Yeah.
Which that's how I approach it. A lot of people don't. You feel me?
That's less likely for a lot
of people keep
their
and that to me is the problem in offense, right?
Yeah.
Is that a lot of people keep their game plan consistent and the same, right? So then, yes, defenses have the opportunity of figuring that out. You feel me? Versus me, I'm consistently changing it. You feel me? I'm consistently changing, so you don't have the opportunity to pick up on what I'm doing. You feel me? And you really gotta be that guy on the defense. You feel me? That you keeping up with us, right? So creativity, offense. I feel like being an offensive coordinator, you have a little bit more power.
Yeah. Okay. You don't think that's more because these kids will fuck up these plays.
Yeah,
that's true.
This is a good reason why these coaches keep it.
That is
true. They keep it simple.
These kids will mess these plays up.
And
we'll we'll mess around, let a defense score.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that's why I say they're more consistent and keep it the same. Like they don't get me wrong, he's completely right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can show me. It's happened before.
Yeah.
We can see something on film, on 2 game film, 2 different teams, and you run something completely different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but if you, as a defensive coordinator, like once you shut that down, they're always gonna go back to old reliable.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever been going up against a team where it's just like, man, we can't stop this nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like a receiver or nothing like that?
Nah, I don't know.
Worsh don't have that problem. His DB's locked out. You don't have that problem.
Supreme confidence.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I've had that problem personally. As being part of a team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, double that.
Yes. Yes.
Triple coverage.
I've seen that being part of a team.
Yeah.
Right? Especially being a position coach on that team, being running back. Yes, I've seen how other teams have exploited us, right?
Yeah.
And because we're weak at this position or whatever the case may be, right? And it's unfortunate because you don't have the plugs to put in, right? Like you don't have the resources to fill that gap. You feel me? And to stop that bleeding, right? So it's unfortunate in that sense. I have been a victim of it. I'm not gonna lie. You feel me? I have been a victim of it because I've been that position coach, and like I said, something's happening on the defense, and the other team notices it and just keeps going to it. You feel me? And we don't have an answer for it, right? Because we don't have the plugs to put in, right? So it's real frustrating in that situation, but it's part of football, right? Okay. Like it's just part of football. Now, me personally, I would never be in the realm of where like these teams are putting up 100 points to 0 or 91 to 0 or anything. Like I would never.
Basketball game.
I would never be in that realm. You feel me? Because I'm not even giving you that opportunity.
Yeah.
Like me personally, like if I'm a head coach, I'm not giving you that opportunity because just to me, it doesn't do anything for my kids. Right? It's not doing anything for the game, right? Like the only thing that to me is doing is hurting me, right? Like we get smacked 106 to 0. What makes you as a player want to come back and play next week?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You feel me? Like as an athlete, like you a player, like we just got smacked 106 to 0.
Yeah.
What makes you want to come back and play next week? You feel me?
I see some college football games that score.
Practice ever.
The score is crazy now.
Yeah. But last question before we wrap this up. Where can the kids reach you? Reach your 7on7?
So we all over social media, right?
Social
media. It's Smoke 7v7. So the word Smoke SMOKE 7v7_. That's for all of our social media. So if you're emailing us, IG, Twitter, anything of that sort, is SMOKE 7v7_.
Okay. Now, before we head out, give me both of y'all top 5 head coaches. They could be current or old. It don't matter. Not in any particular order.
Are we talking about NFL, college? What are we talking about?
I got another question after your question.
Let's do NFL.
I got one more question after your question.
Okay. Man, NFL. I would have to say.
I gotta put Belichick.
Go ahead and put Bill up there.
I gotta put Andy Reid up there.
Okay.
I was gonna start with Andy Reid.
I gotta put Kyle Shanahan up there.
Okay. Yeah, Shanahan, even his dad was good too.
Yeah, I gotta put him up there. I got 5.
The Shanahans.
That's. I think
you don't
that's
like
3.
it's only head coaches, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say. So for me, I'm gonna say Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He's a phenomenal coach. Andy Reid. Bill Belichick, phenomenal coach. For me, I'm older. Right, so I would have to say Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
Right? I'm
There's
older,
no way.
right? And his coaching tree is amazing.
Got Dungy in there.
I would. I like Tony Dungy and Herm Edwards. I like them both, but I can't say that they top.
Okay.
Right, like how Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells. I can't say that
you just
top.
need one more.
No, 2 more.
I'd
have to say right now. I like a Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me, for what he's doing with the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Kyle Shanahan, especially his dad being Mike Shanahan,
I like him just because how many times he's
an
been
amazing coach.
He's been to the NFC Championship a
lot.
Past decade, like he's been there.
Mike T.
And then
Tomlin.
I would
love to give it to Tomlin.
I'm kind of tossed up between Mike Tomlin and Sean McVay.
Okay.
You feel me? Honestly, I'm kind of tossed up right there.
We're giving the time.
Right, given the time.
Yeah.
I would give Mike Tomlin it. You feel me? Because of the tenure.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna give Mike Tomlin that. But I really like what Sean McVay is doing.
He's still young too.
And he's super young, right? So, but I would have to say Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, Mike Tomlin, and then Kyle Shanahan.
What about you?
I still got Bill. Bill, his
mind is too far.
His mindset is like on defensive wise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my coach right there.
Yeah.
Do your job. Take their best player out.
Yeah.
We are going to stop them. Stop their offense.
Okay.
And it works every time.
Yes.
Yes, this guy's the best.
Believe it or not, who I think is going to be a phenomenal black head coach, if he gets the opportunity.
From the Chiefs?
No. DeMeco Ryan from the 49ers.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe he is going to be a phenomenal head coach in the game if he gets the opportunity.
DeMeco Ryan used to be a player?
He used to be a player, and in all honesty, wasn't the greatest linebacker. You feel me? Because he played linebacker.
I remember that name.
He wasn't the greatest linebacker. Solid. Wasn't the greatest, but his coaching aspect and how his IQ of the game and how he relates it to his players because of how not far removed from the game he is. It's something special. I have to say, you feel me? So hopefully he does get that opportunity. It's hard for black coaches, you feel me?
Yeah.
Hopefully he does get that opportunity, but I really like what he's doing on the defensive spectrum over there in San Francisco.
That's good. Go ahead and look to the camera. Let them boys know what podcast you on.
You already know. We on DR.Podcast. Definitely. I got to follow for sure.
DR.Podcast.
Yes, sir. Appreciate having y'all.